Hey there everybody, welcome to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Miranda and I am a working and homeschooling mom to two little girls. My children are finishing second grade and preschool right now. So we actually just had our last day of school yesterday. So this coming year after our summer break, they are going to be in third grade and kindergarten. So since we just wrapped up our school year yesterday, I thought what better time than to review some of the curriculum and resources that we use throughout the year and just give you guys like a quick little mini review of what we thought of it and how it worked for us. So today I'm going to be starting with our morning basket subjects, and morning basket for us is a lot of reading. It is the first thing we do each morning. We cuddle up on the couch together and we just read. So we start with Bible and then we do 5 in a row, and before 5 in a row we do read alouds. And then sometimes I just pull in random books that I think my kids would enjoy and I want to read. So it's a lot of reading, but that is what we like, and it gets our day started off on a really good foot. So I'm going to jump right in, starting with Bible and scripture memory. This year we use the scripture memory packs from Simply Charlotte Mason. These are free to download and I'm going to link them below. You can also buy them from Simply Charlotte Mason already cut and printed and prepared for you if you want, but I just use the free printable. And I believe there was like 4 different scripture packs, and I just printed off the first one and it had plenty of verses. We have lots that we didn't even get to. So overall the 4 scripture packs should last you plenty of years. I'm also going to link a video where Sandra Schaefer explains how to use this method, but essentially you have a index card holder and you review one verse, and then once you have it memorized, and you do it daily, but once it's memorized, you move it to the next section. And so the section right after your daily is odd and even. So if it's an odd day, you review what's behind the odd section. If it's an even day, you review what's behind the even section. And then it goes to days of the week. So you have Sunday through Saturday. So depending on the day of the week, you review whatever card is behind that divider. And then after the days of the week, you move it to days of the month. So 1 through 31. And what that does is that you are constantly re-reviewing the scriptures that you've already memorized. So even if you memorized it months ago, it's in the divider somewhere and you're going to come back to it and review it. So there's a lot of built-in review, which I really like. It has worked really well for my kids. Again, they're younger, so it's taken us a longer time to to memorize scripture. But because it's got the constant review, I really feel confident that it's bearing in their hearts and that they are going to be able to remember these key pieces of scripture whenever they need them. So we have really liked the Simply Charlotte Mason method for scripture memory. Next is our Bible, and we started off the year by reading God's Big Plans for Me. This is just a storybook Bible. It's written by Rick Warren, who wrote the book The Purpose-Driven Life, and it's kind of based off that. And my kids liked this. It's, like I said, it's just a picture book Bible. I didn't find anything theologically that I didn't agree with in it. And one thing I really liked was it had these questions, and it did have memory verses in here, and it just kind of made you think. And so I liked being able to ask my kids these questions and just kind of discuss with them after we read a story. So we read this first, and it was good. And then I picked up Love Does for Kids. This is by Bob Goff, and this is a devotional that tells stories about his life and his family, and then relates it to scripture and just relates it back to Jesus. And we got about 3/4 of the way through with this, and then I really felt like I wanted some type of actual Bible curriculum. Like I wanted to go back to learning about God and about the Bible, and I don't know, I wanted something a little more meaty. So while we did like this, and we will come back to it, we didn't quite finish it because I just wanted something meatier. So I looked through all the curriculum that I already have, which is way too much, and I found this Life with God for Children, and I picked this up at a homeschool book sale somewhere. And it is meant for Sunday schools, but this is for preschool and kindergarten. And again, my kids are second grade and preschool, so I decided just to try it out. And what you do, well, let me see. So here's an example of a lesson. This is about Ruth submitting to Naomi. And it's supposed to go with a picture, a Bible storybook that goes with this curriculum. I used God's Good News by Billy Graham, and this actually almost exactly lined up with the stories from this curriculum. So there was only a few pieces where I had to, pull out my Bible and kind of read from there and explain it to my young children. So it was in a way that they understood. But almost always the stories lined up perfectly with God's Good News. So you read through a piece of scripture or a part of the Bible, and then you discuss. It has some questions to ask and things to do. I like that there was some like songs in here that I don't know that my kids had learned through Sunday school yet, and so we got to kind of sing together and just talk through some pieces of the Bible. And this God's Good News is really good. It is, again, a storybook Bible. It's got really nice pictures. It has like little sections from Billy Graham that, again, ask questions or just give some discussion. So we have been reading through these two, and we are right now in some Psalms. We're learning about Psalms, and then we'll be headed to the New Testament. So my kids have really enjoyed that, and I feel like they've learned a lot about God through it. So next is our read alouds. We always have something we're reading, a chapter book of some sort, and my kids have really enjoyed that. So these are all the books I could remember us reading this year. There may have been more that I just forgot, because I feel like it's kind of short. I feel like we read more than this, but I'm not sure. So we started off the year with Farmer Boy. We had read Little House on the Prairie the previous year, and my girls really, really enjoyed it. But Farmer Boy, they weren't quite as into. I think because it's from a boy's perspective maybe, but we did get through it, and we plan to pick up the rest of the Little House on the Prairie series. I just felt like they needed kind of a break from the Pioneer days, and so we haven't gone back to that yet. But we read Farmer Boy, and then we read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe by C.S. Lewis, and they really, really enjoyed this. They loved the magic in it. I was worried some of like the scarier scenes of the book would be too much for them, but they didn't mind it. They actually really enjoyed the book. And then we watched the movie together, which they also loved. And then we read The Wild Robot and The Wild Robot Escapes. And this was hands down the best read aloud we have ever done. They loved these two books so much. I definitely recommend you check these books out. And I should have mentioned, I don't have any of them in person to show you because I get almost all of my books from the library. But I definitely recommend checking these books out. They were fantastic. My girls loved them. I'm definitely gonna have to buy them and add them just to our personal library. After The Wild Robot Escapes, we read Stuart Little. My girls weren't super into this. It was okay, definitely not their favorite. And then right now we're reading The Trumpet of the Swan, and we're almost finished with it. We're just gonna continue reading it throughout the summer so we can get it done. They've liked The Trumpet of the Swan though. Next is 5 in a Row. We like to read from 5 in a Row and before 5 in a Row. Oops, it's upside down. My original intention was to read the before 5 in a Row just with my younger daughter, and to do 5 in a Row with just my older daughter and kind of make it some one-on-one time. But that didn't work out. I ended up deciding let's just do them all together, and they've enjoyed that. So for 5 in a Row this year, we have read Lentil, A Pair of Red Clogs, Who Owns the Sun, and Mike Mulligan and His Steam Shovel. And the way I do 5 in a Row, we read a book usually one time a week. We don't read it, each day of the week, but we read it one day of the week, and then I go through the 5 in a Row book and I just pick the things that I want to talk about or want to do with my kids, and that's what we do. I don't go super in depth like some people do with 5 in a Row. I just really like reading quality literature with them, and I do like the discussions and the things that are included in the book, but we don't go like it's not our main piece of curriculum like some people make it. There's nothing wrong with that. I actually love that. It's not my thing. I would rather just read the book and then kind of discuss some of the pieces that are in the 5 in a Row book. So for before 5 in a Row, we did The Little Rabbit, Blueberries for Sal, which was a huge hit. They loved Blueberries for Sal, and we reread that over and over again. And they've asked for me to pick it up from the library again so that we can read it more and more. Then we read Goodnight Moon, The Runaway Bunny, Caps for Sale, which was another one they really enjoyed. The Carrot Seed, my youngest daughter loved this one, which I was very surprised by because it has very few words and the illustrations are very simple, but she loved it and she wanted to plant her own carrot seeds, and so we did, and that was a great time. And then we read Play With Me and Prayer for a Child, and that wraps up 5 in a Row. And the very last thing I wanted to share with you that I just discovered these last couple of months and I really enjoyed are these Heroes for Young Readers books. We get these at the library and they're from YWAM Publishing, and you've probably seen the chapter book versions that a lot of homeschoolers use, and they're just stories about missionaries and their lives. Well, I found these picture book ones at the library, and so we started checking them out and reading them, and the girls have really enjoyed these, and I feel like I've learned a lot from them, a lot about missionaries that I've never heard of, and my girls have learned a lot about them and also learned about other cultures and just the amazing things that they've done. And so anyways, I have a couple here from the library that we've been reading. These are written as poems and they have really nice watercolor illustrations. Anyways, my girls are really captivated by them. They really enjoy them. So I just wanted to share those. If you have younger kids like me and you want to learn about missionaries, you want to read these books, but the chapter books are just, too old for your kids, too mature for them, try the picture books because my kids have really, really enjoyed them. Okay, so that wraps up our morning basket subjects, and I will be back with another video to show you guys all of our science and our history and our individual subjects.